Hi guys, I wanted to walk you through a few things about how to do this virtual lab so that you don't get confused or stuck or frustrated. So very first thing, the URL that you're going to use is this one right here. It is also posted on Google Classroom, so all you have to do is click on the agenda or click on the assignment, and you'll find the link there. Once you get there, the website's going to look like this. What you're going to want to do is you want to click on where it says register. Registration could not be any easier. All you do is once you click that, you're going to click register, and then it's going to ask you for your first name. You hit register. It'll give you a number that you can use. That is your registration number, your ID. Write that down because what this means is you can start the lab, and if you close it and walk away from it, it'll save your progress, and to get back to wherever you were in the lab, all you have to do is type in your number. So that's it. That's all there is to registering. When you do that, the screen is going to open up. It'll have your name in the corner. You're going to be choosing titration level number 4. Also, by the way, if you want to try the other 3, these are really great practice on other types of titrations, specifically strong acid, strong base, and then weak acid, weak base titrations here if you want to practice those. But the one that you really want to focus on is level 4. This is going to be our redox titration. So if you click on it there, you're just going to click start this level. And when you do, this little guy is going to pop up. You're going to click next. And then you're going to watch a short video that's going to kind of walk you through what is a redox titration. Once you're done with that, you'll be able to click next, and it'll say finish, and you'll be done with the first part. Next thing it's going to ask you to do is do what's called balance a redox reaction. That used to be on the AP exam and is no longer on the AP exam, balancing a redox reaction from half reactions. So I'm just going to give you the answer. So when you get to this part, you could look at the how-to. It's really not too terribly hard to balance, but what you're going to do is, this is how an oxidation is written, right? So we have Fe2 plus is being oxidized to Fe3 plus, right? We can see the oxidation number increased. So for every 1 iron 2 plus, we're going to make 1 Fe3 plus, and when we do that, we will see that it has lost an electron, so we would put 1 electron there. Okay, so 1 Fe3 plus and 1 electron. Down here, notice that our permanganate has 4 oxygens, so to supply 4 oxygens on the other side, we need 4 waters. When we have 4 waters here, that means we have 4 times 2, which is 8 hydrogens, so we need 8 hydrogens on this side. And then the number of electrons that are going to be gained, the manganese has an oxidation state of +7 over here, and over here it's +2. That means that my manganese gained 5 electrons, so we got 5 electrons there. You will not be asked to do this on the AP exam. This is just where these numbers come from. So if you want to just get past this part in the virtual lab, all you have to do is click to these numbers, hit check, and it'll tell you next. Then what it's going to say is, if I wanted to add these two together to balance and cancel out these 5 electrons, in order to cancel out these 5 electrons, I would need 5 irons to do that, to give me my 5 electrons here. So if you go to 5, 5, and 5, then you can click next. So now my 5 electrons will cancel, so you click each of these, and you're going to be left with this balanced redox reaction. So this is the balanced equation for this particular redox reaction. Permanganate plus 5 Fe2 plus 8 hydrogen ions are going to give me manganese 2 plus 5 iron 3 plus 4 waters. Okay. So then now moving forward, this is all stuff that should be relatively review and things that you know how to do. You're just going to be asked to do a little bit of basic math. So you can complete this on your own. Once you've done that, then it's going to ask you to prepare your aspirin tablets. So you're going to have a list of equipment that you're going to have to click and drag onto the screen. After you have done your clicking and dragging and you've made your powder out of your iron pills, then what you're going to do is you're going to have to add water to this. So you're going to drag the funnel into the volumetric flask, you're going to put water into the beaker, you're going to pour the beaker into the flask. The last part at filling your standard sample is you're going to have to use this dropper. You're going to see this magnified screen here, and what you want to do is add drops of water until the meniscus, the bottom of the meniscus, right, that curved line of water is right here at this fill line. Once you've done that, you can check and move on. Then the last thing it's going to ask you to do for this first part of our preparation, it's going to ask you to take your iron solution that you just made and wash out our volumetric pipette. This was the part that I found the hardest of this entire thing because it wasn't necessarily something I knew immediately how to do. So when you drag this guy over here, you're going to have a down arrow and up arrow. What you're going to want to do is hold down on the up arrow. So like you have to click and hold, and you'll see that the pipette will start drawing the liquid up inside, and then this icon will change to show this rotation. Once this little rotation icon shows up, you're going to click it, which is going to cause the pipette to be withdrawn, and you'll actually see it rotate. What you're doing is you're coating the inside of the pipette with your standard solution. Once you do that, you're going to click the down arrow, or you're going to take your pipette over here, you're going to click the down arrow to get rid of the solution inside. Then finally, you're going to do this one more time. Now you're going to grab your sample of your standard, and you're going to fill it till you get to the line, and then you're going to empty it into the flask over here. Next thing it's going to ask you to do is you're going to prepare your burette. Here was the other thing that I found a little bit tricky in the setup, is that you're going to take this slider and slide it up because you need to have the goggles in your eye above the fill line. You're going to fill the burette just like we did in class when we did our acid-base titration. Over here you're going to put a funnel in the top, and then you're going to pour your permanganate through. And then on this next one, where you're going to actually fill the burette after you've cleaned it out, you're going to bring the permanganate, but you want to close this this knob right here, which is called the stopcock. You're going to do that by pulling down, which is going to turn the stopcock sideways to shut off the flow. So you pull that down, and then it closes it. Now you can pour your permanganate through. Okay. When you're done with that, you need to remove the funnel before you're allowed to go on to the next step. This was the thing that frustrated me because I kept hitting check. It told me no, I couldn't go on, but it was because I needed to remove the funnel, and to remove it, you have to pull it out and put it back over on this side. So once you get everything set up, you are going to then do your actual titration. You're going to have to read the markings on the burette, and you're going to type them in over here. Okay. When you run the sample, you're going to hit start. You're going to see this flow through, and you're going to look for the color change down below. Just like when we were doing our acid-base titration, you're looking to see this turn a very faint pink. Once you're done with all your titrations, they're going to ask you to do some calculations, which you're going to do by clicking and dragging numbers into the boxes. At the very end, it's going to ask you to kind of summarize the entire procedure by dragging these into place, and then your entire lab will be done. When you're finished with the whole thing, what I recommend that you do is if you click on this little notebook at the bottom, it'll bring up a summary of everything that you did. Click on the download the PDF, so you can click and download the PDF, and then you'll have all your calculations and all your work in a saved record of what you did for your particular lab. All right, let me know if you have any questions about how to do this particular virtual lab. I hopefully gave you some hints and tricks of how to do it without getting stuck.